Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey Gee.
It happened.
Oh my goodness.
All of our dreams have come true.
Emergency, emergency, emergency.
Emergency episode. Today's another great day to be a Swiftie, right?
Yeah. As always.
Think about everything that's happening right now in the world of Taylor Swift. We got a new album announcement. We have 2 new Grammy wins. We have an Album of the Year win. We have the Super Bowl coming up. Her Eras Tour is starting up again. There's a lot to get to.
Mm-hmm. Where do we even begin?
We begin at the changing of the profile picture. That's where we begin.
We start at the very, very beginning of the day yesterday. Because, yeah, that's what happened. We woke up and 13 hours before midnight Eastern, Taylor Swift changed her profile picture to the picture she already had from Midnights, but it was black and white, right? One could say, okay.
You sent out the question.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Is this black and white?
It was changed to black and white, and immediately every Swiftie on the face of the earth was like, Reputation Taylor's version is coming tonight, or the announcement is coming tonight. She's going to be at the Grammys. Reputation. I literally put on my Reputation t-shirt. Like, I think every Swiftie just was like, it's it. There's no way. This is as obvious as it gets. Even you had said in our text, you're like, this is pretty blatant.
Right.
And then I sent a follow-up text that said, Amy, as our graphic designer, does this just have a little bit of like a sepia tone? Like, it's not actually black and white? I said, this is driving me a little crazy.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to.
You're right, and I didn't pick up on it
But
at
I
first.
didn't want to be like that person that's like, it's not black and white.
Did someone bring it to your attention?
Well, I had noticed it because I changed my profile picture to be black and white. And when I was kind of going through the different filters, there's just kind of like, at least on the iPhone, there's one that's the black and white, and then there's one that's like not fully black and white.
Right.
Granted, I'm sure hers was professionally changed, but I was just thinking about just the difference of it. And I was like zooming in on hers.
Wait
and I
a
was like,
second.
Is this actually like black and white? But anyway, if there's anybody that deserves credit for thinking TS11 was actually going to happen, it's Lacey.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you.
Yep.
Clown makeup, full effect. It feels great to be right for the first time ever. I mean, I'm so cocky about this. First off, I didn't come up with all the theories. I just got caught up on Swift talk. But still, just because I buy into everything, now I'm finally right for once.
Yeah.
And it feels great. So there was a profile picture change. Then her website went down, and there were errors in the website, including there was it 321,
Yeah.
which people were like 1 2 3 let's go bitch, and all that stuff. Then the error code had something to do with communication, had to do with like phone lines being down, which everyone was saying the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. I was remembering the many times that Taylor Swift had said, that's my landline ringing.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know that I had a landline.
That was so weird, and I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
So who knows? But everybody was like, this is really suspicious. Even I believe Taylor Nation went on and said something about the website being down, being sus about it.
They liked a tweet.
Okay.
From a fan, from a Swiftie that posted something like, I don't think this is an accident. Like, this is intentional. And Taylor Nation liked a tweet. And then I think a really interesting part that a lot of us were really focused on was there was one part, because it was just black and it said error 321. Then it said, then it just kind of had little random letters, but they were like an anagram for red herring, which basically means a distraction. And when Reputation came out originally, Look What You Made Me Do was the lead single. And there was an article from Variety where a critic had said, Look What You Made Me Do is a red herring because it makes you think that the album is going to be all about revenge. But the truth is Reputation is an album about falling in love, you know? And so they said that they were saying that Look What You Made Me Do is a red herring, and it was really smart on Taylor's part. And so for her to kind of do red herring, but then it turns out the whole thing was a distraction anyway.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That Reputation was called a red herring.
Look What You Made Me Do was by a critic, but Swifties like immediately called it back. And then it's just so interesting too, like all the connections that it had to Reputation, because another thing that I saw, and this was from a Swiftie on Twitter, pointed out that, 3-2-1, they're like, there has to be a significance behind this besides just the backwards 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. March 21st of 2020 was when, to go even further. Do you remember the phone call between Kim, Kanye, and Taylor Swift that started Reputation essentially?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
On March 21st, 2020, that's when the full audio was out, like the full transcript that basically cleared her name. And so Swifties on Twitter were like, this could also be a connection, between 3-2-1, March 21st, clear her name, Reputation, Taylor's version. Like, everything was there. Mm-hmm. Everything was there. And I was about to just call you, Lacey, and just be like, never in my life have I been so confident that Reputation Taylor's version is coming out. Like, oh my God.
Well, so the red herring threw me because that's supposed to be a distraction. Taylor has said there is no explanation. There's only Reputation. So then is she going to have this big buildup, or is it just going to be drop? Right. That's what I can't figure. And then the red herring was starting to get to me. Like, she's telling us that she's messing with us. She's telling us that we're all looking here, but it's actually going to be here. And then she shows up to the Grammys wearing her white dress, stunning, big black gloves, all this black and white that she's been doing this whole time, side swept bangs, braid. I was like, it's TS11. New hairstyle. It's TS11.
You've been saying this, the side bangs have been leaning to something, and someone pointed out that at the Eras tour, I believe it's during Bad Blood when she burns down the Lever House, the Taylor that's on the screen that actually burns it down has side bangs.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. This woman is insane.
Well, and I know during a Champagne Problems speech, she says, what, are you going to tour and do 5 albums? And she's only released 4. So that's really bothered a lot of people that's in the trailer, her saying 5 albums, and that now this is finally going to be the 5th album that she is releasing.
Have we even said what it's called yet?
No, it's a mouthful.
TS11, yeah. The Tortured Poets Department. I have to think about it so I don't say the Dead Poet Society.
Yes.
Right.
And then I start saying like the Tortured Poet Society. I think I even called it just the Poet Society or something.
We need to shorten it as Swifties, right? Or is that going to tick Taylor off? This is her creative work.
Well, I also think the word tortured is hard to say. So it's like the Tortured Poets Department. Like it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Well, she has the not calligraphy, the paper that's like officially stamped TPD. So maybe we just call it TPD because she did when she had the little note.
And that was another thing on the error page on her website. So it said DPT 321, which backwards is 1, 2, 3, the Poets Department. This is madness. This is insane. I had the Swiftie zoomies all day. Like I was just, it was nuts.
So I feel like Taylor's declaring this is the white album.
Yeah.
Yeah, the color's for sure white.
White. Mm-hmm. Well, she wore white, and then she also, when she posted it, she posted a white heart. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which I'm glad because I have that emoji. Turns out I haven't updated my phone because some people are posting all of the color emojis, and
I see a lot of.
I got a few question marks,
right?
Because I was like, wait, what about folklore? But that one's missing for my phone. I need to update it.
So this is when it all went down last night. Was everybody watching live?
Yes.
I just so happened to catch this on TikTok. So I felt so special that I was catching it in real time. But Taylor Swift walks up on stage to accept her 13th Grammy win. And this is what she had to say.
I want to say thank you to the fans by telling you a secret that I've been keeping from you for the last 2 years, which is that my brand new album comes out April 19th. It's called The Tortured Poets Department. I'm gonna go and post the cover right now backstage. Thank you, I love you, thank you.
Do you think she's the one that actually physically pulled up her Instagram and hit post? She went to her draft.
No, I'm sure there was somebody that was. Could you imagine being that person though?
She'd have to take those long gloves off first.
Oh, hey, post. I mean, I don't know. It could have been her.
Yeah.
She's just trying to be relatable. She wasn't running backstage and posting that, but how cute of her. So the Tortured Poets Department. And everybody immediately starts thinking Dead Poet Society, which I've never seen that movie. Has anyone else?
I have not seen it.
So I was looking up the synopsis of it to see if it could be in any way related. But this doesn't seem to be, from what I'm reading. It has to do with a boarding school where someone was once a star student. Now he's teaching there and using his poetry to embolden his pupils to new heights of self-expression. So I don't know that that's related at all. I do know that I've seen SwifTEAs on TikTok saying, pulling out their dictionary and saying, what kind of words are we going to learn in this new album?
I know we just know this is going to be such a
It's going to be full of synonyms.
lyrical, just like really beautiful and smart and sad. So she said that she's been working on it for 2 years. And that makes me think that like that You're Losing Me is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Is just the tip of the iceberg.
I looked again to when Jack Antonoff posted that picture from when the night that they were writing You're Losing Me, and that was in December of 2021. And yes, Taylor says I've been keeping this for 2 years. We don't know the exact start date of that, but give or take 2 years. So it's like, did she finish Midnights and then she just kept writing? Like I want to know an exact timeline like from her, but I have a feeling, at least from the vibes that I get in just the title, The Tortured Poets Department, I feel like it's going to be like You're Losing Me meets The Lakes meets The Archer, meets Renegade.
Yeah.
It's just going to be everything all in one.
So fans noticed immediately something about the name of this album, and that's the fact that her ex, Joe Alwyn, was a part of this group chat that had the Tortured Men or something like that.
It was like the Tortured Men Club.
Tortured Men Club. So I found this clip on TikTok that's just so funny to me now because it shows how comfortable Joe and his friend were at the time talking about that nothing exciting has been going on in this group. So the group chat has been dead for a while. So just listen to this now.
Tortured Man Club, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry, I hit that a little too early. So yeah, they're talking about what's the name of our group chat called? And it's on Variety, Actors on Actors. It's Joe and Paul Mescal. And they're talking about their group chat.
Who's also, isn't he connected to Phoebe Bridgers somehow?
I don't know. So here they are talking on Variety.
Tortured Man Club, I think.
Oh, yeah,
You,
Tortured
me,
Man, me, you, and Andrew. Yeah.
It hasn't had much use recently.
No, I feel like we're less tortured now.
It's called the Tortured Poets Department.
We're less tortured now. And then Taylor goes and releases this and announces the name.
And along that, there was a SwifTEA on X who has the username Deanne Smith KC. And she pointed out, she said, April 19th, the day the album comes out, April 19th is known as the shot heard around the world, the start of the revolution. The battles of Lexington and Concord on April 19th, 1775 are considered to be the start of the American Revolution. Taylor is declaring her independence in song form against a certain Britain.
Against London Boy.
Against the London Boy.
Oh,
Man,
my goodness.
If I'm Joe Alwyn, you're never seeing me again.
I know, it's going to be rough.
Okay, also...
All fair in love and poetry.
April 19th is also Poetry and the Creative Mind Day. This is the day that the album is going to be released. And it's also National Cat Lady Day.
Oh, I love that.
Which I just thought was very super interesting. But back to her ex, which no hate on anyone, but Taylor has said before they would ask, why do you write about your ex-boyfriends? And she would say, if you don't want me to write about you, then don't do something worth writing about. But she was wronged by so many people. So, I mean, 100% support this. But SW Haley 05 on TikTok shared what they think Joe Alwyn has to be feeling right now.
Look, here comes a consequence, consequences of my actions chasing me right now. I don't want no consequence. I don't want no consequences chasing me right now. Someone take this consequence. Someone take this consequence and chasing me right now. Jesus, take the consequence. Jesus, take the consequence chasing me right now.
So I think we're going to know a little bit more about what happened between them, because something catastrophic did happen. I don't think that it was just the breakup of a relationship, people feeling different ways. I think something.
I've heard so many.
It was 6 years long.
And I've heard so many sources, quote unquote sources, saying that it wasn't a big blow up breakup. It was kind of an amicable split. The relationship had just run its course. Now we're going to find out if those sources are telling the truth or not.
Right.
You know?
Well, even when you listen to You're Losing Me, it's like, it's heart, and even other songs on Midnights, like it's heartbreaking because it kind of sounds like, well, because they were like on and off for a little bit was something that we had heard, or like for a while kind of towards the end. And it's like, if you're in this 6-year relationship and you're trying to make it work, I think like we're just going to learn a lot. But Swifties have already started pointing out like parallels, because she posted the cover art, which is stunning, by the way. And then she also posted a few lyrics. And she signed it, the chairman of the Tortured Poets Department. And in the new lyrics, it's basically like 4 sentences. They all start with let me actually pull it up. And so I enter into evidence, my tarnished coat of arms, my muses acquired like bruises, my talismans and charms, the tick, tick, tick of the love bombs, my veins of pitch black ink. And so each sentence starts with my, and there's 4 sentences. My, much like, you're my
oh, wow.
my lover.
Ooh.
I think we're gonna start seeing a lot of parallels in this album, which we always have. That's what makes her discography so fun and entertaining and incredible. But
isn't this crazy? I remember when Midnights came out. Not long after it came out, people were thinking, I don't know, something about this. This might be kind of hinting at a breakup album. And I put my foot down like, no, she has a song on this album with Joe. This isn't breakup. She's not talking about any breakups. And then slowly we start looking more and more into the lyrics. And then especially when You're Losing Me comes out. And then, well, I guess maybe Midnights was part of a breakup album.
Well, Nick, we didn't know at the time because it wasn't announced that they weren't together.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we just assumed everything was fine in her personal life. Everything was the way that we thought it was.
Leave Taylor alone, guys. Stop speculating about her personal life.
We were in the middle of breaking down the album whenever it came out that they were broken up.
Yeah.
So that's whenever people started looking back and saying, oh, I think this was a breakup album.
And you can know something's done for a long time and still officially on paper, well, be together.
And hey, you know what? Maybe she took a page out of Meryl Streep's book. Meryl Streep, we just found out not too long ago that she's been separated from her longtime husband of decades for like 6 years, and she hadn't told anybody until just recently.
But if Midnights was the breakup album, then is this going to be the juicy album where we get down to the nitty gritty, or is it going to be something else entirely? I have some super duper fun theories. The first one is from the Abby Murphy, who has a good idea of what this could mean, considering Taylor's crew has been in on this for a long time. She has friends who are dressing the part and changing their profile pictures. And what does this mean?
I really want to be the first one to circle us back. She said she's been working on this album for 2 years and has kept it a secret. That predates Midnights. And so if you remember, there were theories circulating that Midnights was going to be like a full collabs album. This I think is a collabs album because a chairman is a person, especially a man or the man, designated to preside over a meeting. And the meeting would be theoretically people, like multiple people. So it could be a collabs album, could be metaphoric, like people like in her own mind, like all these stories and narratives and stuff about her life and things going on. And she's a woman who lives in her head. So could be a metaphorical one, but could also be a full fucking collabs album.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, did you guys see how many people who changed their profile pictures to black and white?
Mm-hmm. It was a handful.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking
Was
about?
it 13 people?
Go ahead. I do have another clip that just brings this one step further that I cannot wait for y'all to hear.
At least one list that I found of everyone that changed their profile pictures to black and white yesterday. Mariska Hargitay, Lily Aldridge, Gracie Abrams, Martha Hunt, Kaylee Teller, Channing Tatum, Taylor Lautner, Travis Kelce, Jack Antonoff, Austin Swift, Kelsey Ballerini, Blake Lively, Gigi Hadid, Esty Haim, and there could be more, but that's all that I have right now. You. Yeah.
I changed mine. Why didn't I get on the list?
I was already on board. Mine had been black and white for like 2 years.
Since she started working on it.
Hello.
Okay, so let's bring this one step further. Collab album, but a collab album with more of a dedicated focus. This is what Shit Show Low on TikTok theorizes.
I think the Tortured Poets Department, it's all people that have been wronged by Scooter Braun or their managers, and they're all going to be featured. It's more than just one person. It's a whole department of people who have been tortured or mistreated.
Wow.
Whoa.
So we know that Scooter Braun has had a very public falling out, but we don't know why. That all of his the big names on his team walked away, and all walked away publicly on the same day. Everybody left his side at once. We don't know why. What if this album explains why? Like maybe there's NDAs that have been signed that people can't say, but Taylor Swift has been telling her story, scooting around all of that anyway. She can still say what she wants to say in her lyrics. And that just really made me wonder, like, what if? What if everybody's scared for Joe Alwyn, but this is actually about Scooter Braun? Now, one step further, okay? One step further. We've been wondering, hinted at a double album for a while. Taylor's hinted at a double album, or we think that's what she's hinted at. Nothing has happened yet. We've been waiting every single album. Is this a double album? Is this a double album? What if this is the double album? It's going to be the Tortured Poet Society
Department.
The Tortured. I was trying to look it up.
It's hard to say. It's hard for me to get it out.
It's hard to say.
I want you to read it.
Why don't we just call it like poets for short?
What if it's going to be this album, which is a collab album with friends, with other tortured souls, and Reputation at the same time, because she's fixed her reputation and now she's bringing down Scooter Braun's even further. I mean, he doesn't need to be kicked anymore necessarily, but what if? What if?
Hey, if there's anything I've learned in the past 15 years is that I cannot predict Taylor Swift's moves. So anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible.
I really didn't think this was happening.
I didn't either.
I was thinking there's no way she's going to drop a brand new album when she's on tour that gets too messy to try and work it into the Eras Tour set. But she did it.
But if anyone can do it, it's Taylor. If anyone can do it, it's her. But I'm looking at your t-shirt right now. How are we going to fit the new album into the Eras Tour poster? That is what I would like to know.
Right down by my belly button.
Do I need to get a brand new collection of merch? Probably.
Okay, I don't know how this is going to be fit into the poster, but I did see some people on TikTok, Nina Shelby on TikTok, brought up this good point about a new intro for the Eras Tour.
No, because I can't wait for the sound to come out where it's like Taylor Swift, fearless, speak now, red, 1989, Reputation, leather, folklore, evermore, midnights, the Tortured Poets Department. Like what?
That's so true.
Isn't it wild how just the intro to the Eras Tour has only been around for less than a year, but it feels like it's part of the entire SwifTEA culture, like it's been around for so long.
Also, how are we going to do our nails now? We only have 10 fingers.
Oh, shoot.
You guys.
Start doing teeth, I
Taylor,
guess. I don't know.
what am I supposed to do here? I did see a funny tweet from a SwifTEA with the username Ghost of Esty. And she said, on the way home, I wrote a poem. You say, what a mind. I said, I'm the chair of the tortured poets department. So good.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So good.
I don't want to put too much hype. I don't want to put too much for her to live up to. But I really, like you guys were saying earlier, our vocabulary will be expanding with this.
I think so.
And I'm excited to have my dictionary and thesaurus out while listening to this for the first time.
Next to the Kleenex box. I mean,
Amy,
it's going to be so great.
Amy, so you know how when Midnights came out, we were like, is this karma? Is the tortured poets department Woodvale?
That's what I was wondering. Bringing the braid, there's always the 3, and it's got that folklore Evermore vibe with the color, anyways. So, but also, it's a thought that I had seen, but I don't know if I believe. I think she would say this is the other sister.
Okay, but you know how then there was a song on Midnights called Karma? What are you going to do when there's a song on the Tortured Poets Department called Woodvale? Then what, Amy?
I would be like, okay, you got me.
I did see another funny post yesterday before the Grammys when, we were thinking that she was going to announce Reputation. Someone was like, okay, but if she gets up there and she accepts her award and she looks directly into the camera and says, this is about you. And and what is it that she said?
Yes,
this is
Maddie.
This is about you and you know who you are or something. And the girl was like, then what? Then what are we going to do, huh?
Oh, my God. I would have to throw in the towel. That would be so sad.
I would have to just walk away.
So some people have wondered what we've discussed before on this podcast, what a new album would mean for the Eras Tour, because Taylor Swift is still on the Eras Tour. She's now doing her international dates and starting back up this week. So we had guessed in the past, or other people guessed, and I just jumped onto that theory, that she could do a whole new album in just the surprise songs. But Kaylee Delancey on TikTok does have a theory about how this can change for the Eras Tour.
What if the songs that she cut from the Eras Tour movie, so Wildest Dreams, Cardigan, The Archer, 'Tis the Damn Season, I feel like I'm missing one. But what if the songs that she cut are the ones that will be cut from the set list when she makes room for her new era? If the new album is coming out on April 19th, that means that she will have plenty of shows, including her whole second leg of the US tour, her Canada dates, all will happen once that album has dropped. And it would be bizarre if she wasn't adding her newest era to the Eras Tour. I don't know, it's just a thought.
It's a good theory, for sure. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. We've talked a lot in this episode about relationships and how that can affect you personally. Sometimes you know that you're toying with the idea of something that's difficult, and that's why we would like to encourage you to talk to our friends at BetterHelp. A common misconception about relationships is that they have to be easy to be right. Sometimes the best ones happen when both people put in the work to make them great. Therapy can be a great place to work through the challenges that you face in all your relationships, whether it's with friends, work, your significant other, or anyone.
And talking to someone can really help you realize what it is that you're trying to say, but you don't know how to say it. You try to work through it. A therapist can help you figure out those obstacles in the ways that you're thinking. And you know how they say, how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself first? Maybe having someone to talk to about what you're dealing with will then help you learn the ways to talk to others.
And therapy is nice because it can help you learn positive coping skills, how to set boundaries. It can empower you to be the best version of yourself. Therapy isn't just for someone who's experienced major trauma. It's good to be able to talk with your therapist and work stuff out. I know that whenever I'm feeling scrambled and I have so much anxiety that I like to turn to my therapist just to have somebody say, it's okay. You just need to take a step back, take a breath. You don't have to do everything at once. And it makes me feel more empowered to know that someone else sees my work and sees what I'm doing and tells me that I'm still doing okay.
Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/TaylorSwiftFan today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TaylorSwiftFan.
Gosh, we're only gonna have to wait and see. She keeps us on our toes, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
my
you think she'll
goodness.
preview any of the songs at the Eras Tour in a surprise song or something like
Before
that? Before the album
April
drops.
19th?
Oh, I don't know.
You think during a surprise song, she'll say, and this is brand new, just for you, Tokyo. And she plays
Right.
something?
I mean, that would be epic.
It'd be cool.
That would be so
Right.
epic.
We know that there's the manuscript,
Yeah.
right? So maybe, and I've also seen that it's like the entire side A on, I think, cassette or whatever, vinyl or whatever. So I mean, it could be another 10-minute version of something. I mean, it could be extra long.
Oh my goodness.
The only problem I have with that is she really likes for everyone to vibe and sing along.
Yeah.
And it would just be a little bit confusing during a live concert to hear a song for the first time.
Yeah.
Because even whenever she has played like vault tracks, it was still long enough that people knew all the words.
Unless maybe not in Tokyo, but maybe as we get closer to the release date, she could premiere some sort of music video or a
Yep.
visual or something like that. She did that with I Can See You. That was the day it came out. Remember? And because I remember liking that song, like almost like I was more drawn to it because like she premiered. I forget the timeline, but I don't put it past her. I just don't put anything past her.
And so what does this mean with the re-recordings? What does this mean?
I mean, a new
Like,
pattern.
Yeah, what?
2 re-records and a new album.
Yeah. Now,
Man,
'cause
all
at
in one
first-
year?
Because
everyone's assuming the other re-records will come out this year, right?
Yeah,
that's what people
So
think.
is she going to put out 3 albums in 1 year?
yeah, she's done it before.
That's crazy.
She's
Well, and
she's done it before.
we didn't even talk about like she had a watch on her neck as a choker. And everybody thought it was 3:15, but then noticed it was actually to the side and it was midnight. So we didn't know, like, is she still going to drop something at midnight? Clown face, I thought maybe. And there's a video of her asking Tree, hey, do I need to reset my clock? And Payne said, no, it's at midnight. So who knows
Man.
what she has.
I thought I had a good theory.
I know. I liked
thought I had a
it.
good theory. I am not good with theories. I can't keep up. My brain does not work that way when everyone starts talking theories. I can't connect the dots. But when I saw her watch on her neck, I zoomed in and I said, oh, it's at 3:15. But I didn't know that it was on its side. And so I looked up when is 3:15. March 15th is a Friday. I was like, oh, Reputation, because it's on a black choker
Yeah,
necklace thing. I was like, oh, Reputation, Taylor's version is coming out March 15th. She's just going to announce it today, or this is just a little hint. And then 15 minutes later, she announces the new album.
Hey, that's just life of a Swiftie in a nutshell.
I know.
Also, how cool. I saw this on TikTok as well. But how cool that, think about Miss Americana, the documentary, how it starts off with her getting a call that she's not nominated for Reputation. And she says, I just have to make a better album. I have to make a better album. Now she's at the Grammys getting her 13th win, her 4th album of the year, the first and only person ever to do that. Let's go, Taylor. But people were saying, regardless if there was an announcement, this was before the new album was announced, but Reputation didn't get its time, and now that's all that people were talking about yesterday. And this was an album that Taylor said, I've got to make a better album next time, because it didn't get the love that it deserved the first time. So regardless of her not announcing Reputation was bigger than the Grammys yesterday because of all the Swifties that believed, because of all the hype around it, because it was on all the hashtags and all the streaming and everything. So
Celebrities were even being asked about it on like the red carpet, like at the Grammys. Like the interviewers were like, do you guys think that she's going to announce Reputation tonight? Like they were asking Gracie Abrams that, and they asked Gracie Abrams that. They were like, do you think that's something with Reputation? And she just goes, wow. She was like speechless, and she was like, the Swifties are the most creative fan base of all time, because she knew. She knew she's involved somehow. But yeah, and then there was something else. Oh, I was thinking yesterday when we were leading up to Reputation, when I was like so fully convinced, I thought, you know what? If there is an album to announce at the Grammys, it's pretty epic that it's that, because there are so many music industry executives and big time people in the music industry who are so against the re-recording and against like Taylor doing all of this, because she's just changing the industry and changing all of it. And so for her to announce Reputation out of any album at the Grammys would have been such a huge statement in itself.
That's true.
But announcing a brand new album when she wins her 13th Grammy is also one of the most incredible things to ever happen as a Swiftie.
While she's still on tour for a year.
While still on tour. This is insane. I did see that the pre-orders for the new album in 25 minutes were basically the same that Midnight's had in 1 hour, which was also insane. The numbers were just absolutely insane. I went onto her website immediately to pre-order the album, and I was on a wait list. I had to wait 25 minutes.
Wow.
And I was just watching, and I was like, okay, what is this Ticketmaster-esque type thing? Is it still going to be in
flashbacks?
stock when I get it? I was able to successfully get it.
How many did you buy?
I bought one this time.
wow.
I bought
Shocking.
one vinyl and the collector's edition CD.
That's more shocking than the new album. And I bought one.
There's only one version.
Right. We expect more versions.
I'm sure there's going to be 3 more, and I'll buy all of them. Of course. Got to own them all.
So one thing that we found out in this last year is how many celebrities really super support and look up to Taylor Swift. We were surprised and honored about Flava Flav.
Oh, yeah.
Another big one who's come out is Spencer Pratt. And Spencer Pratt did admit that he was a little let down due to expectations last night.
This is probably a super controversial hot take, and I'm sorry. Don't mean to offend anyone, specifically Taylor, but my rep TV emotional roller coaster journey with all the wrong information on my For Your page, and I changed my profile pic to black and white. I was like, oh my God, it's coming! Look what you made me do! I'm very excited. New album, new era. That's great. But can we just throw the rep TV era? Let's just drop it right now. In the meantime, or I'm just gonna have to just not feel bad every time I stream it, knowing people that you don't want to get a cut of the money or getting a cut. I'm just gonna have to move on from that little thing that always just haunts me. I'm just gonna be like, it is what it is. I'm just gonna play it. So that's a hot take.
It is true. Sometimes I do feel a little bad if I'm streaming an album that she doesn't fully own yet, but what's my alternative?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The CD.
But then they still get a cut of that.
But you already bought it once.
That's true.
But you know what? The hype, that's on us. I mean,
Yeah,
the only
for
people we
sure.
can blame for that is us, the Swifties. I mean, of course. But we were full on. But she's just so good at that. She's so good at that. Every single time we think we're right, we're not. And I think I'm just going to start giving up.
Don't.
In a good way, I'm just going to follow her lead. I'm just going to, whatever happens. But this also means that we need to go to another show.
That's right. Very soon.
And we have to kind of speed through 1989.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. How great would it have been if it lined up perfectly again? Yeah.
We've been dragging our feet. So if we hadn't been, maybe we would have lined up
Maybe.
perfectly.
Yeah.
That's
maybe.
true.
And the holidays kind of got in the way.
Yeah.
But it's not too much. It's not like we have to do the whole thing in 4 or 5 weeks. We have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But not a lot. And also, sorry to Evermore.
We'll get to you.
We'll get to you. We will. That was a lot of the comments on our social media yesterday. They were like, "Oh, poor Evermore, getting pushed once again."
It's coming. But what an exciting night. And that was all before she even walked up and made history, winning Album of the Year for the 4th time.
Absolutely.
Only artist ever to have done that. So all the naysayers who aren't Taylor Swift fans, who wants to nitpick and say everything bad, you can't argue with her success. And that's what I've always tried telling people. You don't have to be a fan.
Mm-hmm.
You can't argue her success and her talent. And that's where I just get tired. You're not even worth my argument right now if you're just blatantly going to say that. But to all the haters, I mean, she's killing it time and time again. And it's so exciting to be a fan.
I just don't understand why you would choose to be a hater when she's an actual living legend. She is making so much history, so many moves, succeeding, paving the way for so many artists, changing the music industry. people are going to look back on Taylor Swift's career as one of the best of all time. Truly, they already do. You can take a class at Harvard about Taylor Swift. Like her discography is studied, her marketing is studied, like everything about her career is just studied. And if you want to 25 years in the future look back on it and be like, oh yeah, I hated her, that sucks. That sucks for you.
And also, what is she supposed to do? Not make music?
Yeah.
Is she just supposed to stop?
Yeah.
I mean, she's not voting for herself to win that award. These awards are voted on by her peers, by respected artists, producers, people who make music that are in the industry. They're the ones who are giving her all the love. They are voting for her. So what is she supposed to say? I don't accept your award?
Yeah.
Is Tom Brady supposed to stop playing football because he won too many Super Bowls? No. He's going to keep playing because that's what he does. That's what Taylor's going to do. She's going to keep making music. And if people want to give her awards, great. Bring it on.
She deserves them all.
You know what else I was thinking about? Because I like thinking about Taylor Swift's career and how I truly do think it's going to be studied in the future. We doing this podcast, I mean, we're going on our third year doing this podcast. 3? Did you say 3? Going on our third year doing this podcast. We have been essentially studying Taylor Swift's discography already, but studying her like impact and marketing in real time. Like that's really cool. I'm proud of us. That's really cool.
Maybe a class in Harvard 5 years from now will look back and listen to our early podcasts before we had all too well 10-minute version.
Yeah.
And they'll study how we reacted after it came out and the rollout of all her re-records. Ooh, that'd be cool. Study us, Harvard.
Study us.
So yes, like we already said, Taylor Swift has won Album of the Year 4 times, the most of any artist of any gender in Grammys history. Now, how likely is that to be broken? Who will surpass her? So I have the list of other people who have won the award multiple times. So she was tied with Stevie Wonder and Paul Simon. They're not really making much music right now. So I don't think that they're going to make any more albums that are going to win Album of the Year. Frank Sinatra has passed away, so he's not going to be making any more music. The only other 2 acts that have won Album of the Year more than once are Adele and U2. They each have 2 Album of the Year wins. So those are the 2 most likely candidates who could tie or surpass Taylor's Album of the Year wins in the future. I mean, it could be someone else. They just haven't been winning the awards yet, and they very well could soon. So, and guys, Taylor's in her mid-30s. She's not done. She's not anywhere close to being done.
And she made that very clear when she accepted it. She was like, "I'm the happiest when I create music like that. Thank you so much for letting me do this." She's not stopping.
Yeah, she said, "This is all I want to do. This is everything that I love."
I really do think we picked the best artist to
Absolutely
be huge fans of.
For sure. I've seen people say on dating apps that now they like to ask men their opinion on Taylor Swift because based on their reaction and what they have to say is kind of a good judge of character. If you're just a nasty hater who can't acknowledge a successful woman, or you don't necessarily have to be a fan, but what is your response to Taylor Swift? How do you feel about her?
Yeah.
Are you just a Brad and Chad who thinks that she's getting too much airtime on football, or she's incredibly talented? I've just never personally gotten into her music. I mean, it really depends on your response, but yay, Taylor. Gosh, this is so much fun.
This is awesome. And we have a lot coming up. We're just a few days away from Tokyo.
I know.
So we got to do our predictions soon.
Yes.
Well, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to us on whatever podcasting platform you listen to us on. Leave us a good review. Leave us some 5 stars. And join us next time because we are going to be talking to one of our favorite Swifties. His name's Kyle, and he created the Swift Alert app that everyone is going to be using so much now that tour is starting up again. So join us next time when we talk to Kyle.
Thanks for listening. The 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.